going to be something. Life isn't always, perfect. There's always going to be an obstacle, but you just got to find a way to push through it and create an opportunity for yourself. When I started playing basketball, my athleticism was just a standout among my peers. I was elite. I was sprinting up and down the court. I was very fast. I was jumping really high when I started the game, and that alone. I couldn't shoot the ball. I couldn't dribble the ball, but I just did the effort things. I was just running down the court, getting steals. Those things you don't see from a 6'7", 6'8" guy. They out there doing all this stuff. So I think that's what separated me from my peers. Just having that zeal to just compete. That was just something I just had growing up, and I think that translated to basketball. And now I have to learn the skills, learn the shooting and dribbling. So I'm in a catching up phase when I got to that point. But yeah, I never really had that knowledge of what an ACO was when it initially happened. Of course, it's devastating to think about it, but I think that kind of shaped me to be the kind of athlete I am now. That everything just went downhill from there. I would, after the injury, I would come to practice and I would just sit on the side for quite a while. I did that for about 2.5 years. Had multiple surgeries in between just to get myself back on the floor. Being able to have that competitive edge, that endurance, that resilience to, adversities, because there's going to be something. Life isn't always, perfect. There's always going to be an obstacle. You just got to find a way to push through it and create an opportunity for yourself. It's not just about basketball anymore. It's more about, I got to feed my family. I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't come from a place where, I have things handed to me. I have to work as hard as possible to get what I want. So, even for me, moving from Nigeria, come to the U.S., moving from Nigeria to Senegal to Australia to the U.S., there's that process alone. It was all competition. There was no like, oh yeah, you're good at basketball. Oh yeah, we used to hand this over to you. It was before I got selected to be part of the NBA Academy team. I had to compete with a bunch of kids. The very first camp for NBA Academy Senegal, I had to compete with a bunch of kids. And they only selected 2 or 3 kids. I had to make sure I was one of those kids. It was always a competition. Even before I got there, I have to make sure I was MVP twice in 2 years at a certain camp just for me to get an opportunity. So, it's been a journey for me, man. I'm pretty grateful for everything. Even if, with being with the NBA G League Ignite, everybody thinks you're a projected draft pick, should be here, should be there. For me personally, I'm just grateful for every opportunity I get. You never know when this game will be there anymore. Just enjoy it as it comes every day. That's the thing, especially with my history. I want to have a long career. I don't want to go back to that phase again. I'm past that. I want to move forward. And I think, of course, me being athletic will be there, but I got to be very, very intense with my athleticism. I got to be smarter. I think that's something I'm learning along the way. And I think this team, Vipers, they helped me, especially Coach JB and all the coaching staff, man. They've been super amazing. They've been the best. They've been, correcting me when I need something. It's something you don't get every time. Not every team gets to provide you with that intense coaching system. So I'm really glad that I have that.